Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're taking a cheeky look at Zilliqa, specifically can a ZIL token 10x? And Chris, this is a question that we've been asked a couple of times. We see it in our live chat, we see it in the comments, and we haven't actually done a Zilliqa video for a while, so we figured, yeah, let's actually touch on this subject and see, what we can see in the data, and help answer this question: can the ZIL token 10x in 2021? So, Chris, anything you want to add, or shall we just jump right on into it?
Yeah, you're right, Nick. This is one that a lot of people are asking about in the comments of the videos. When are you next doing a Zilliqa video? So you asked, we deliver, right? Let's get into it, Nick.
Absolutely. So guys, if you find it useful, informative, maybe even entertaining, smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. And I like to think that you do too. And of course, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the various videos, live streams, and just general banter that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, so let's jump on over to the desktop and take a look at Zilliqa. Okay, so Zilliqa is obviously a smart contract platform. So a bit of an overview, and for those who are unfamiliar with it, it's built on peer-reviewed academic research. It's got sharding in practice. It's one of the first to actually do so. It's been on a mainnet since 2019. It's dual mining friendly, which means basically only 1 minute out of every 2 to 3 hours is actually needed to mine the ZIL. So it's very good from that perspective. It's a blossoming ecosystem, and it's basically safe by design smart contract language. So this is basically powered by that first peer-reviewed and safe by design smart contract language called 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, which is absolutely brilliant. So it's absolutely fantastic blockchain, and it's not really something that gets spoken about a lot. It's specifically around the smart contract aspects of things, but nonetheless it is one that's a definite contender to some of the many others that are trying to do sharding and attack some of those key issues when it comes to smart contract platforms like Ethereum, right? So with that being said, let's jump over to this. This is obviously coin market cap for Zilliqa. And it's currently trading at 13.4 cents, right? And so it's actually relatively low cap, right? It's got $1.4 billion in market cap, which is actually higher than some that you might see out there. But that's mainly because it has 10.9 billion ZIL in circulating supply. And you might be thinking, well, that's quite a bit. But nonetheless, if we start thinking about what Zilliqa is doing as a smart contract platform that's using sharding in practice, and then we start comparing it to something like maybe like Cardano that actually is yet to actually release any smart contracts, although it's going to be fantastic when they do. They've already got a market cap of 34 billion. So the main differences between these platforms, really, in my opinion, Chris, and correct me if you think otherwise, has to be with the team. Right, the team over at Cardano are very front people, right? You have Charles Hoskinson on YouTube talking about things, going out there, doing interviews, doing all that great stuff. On the Zilliqa side, you have a little bit less of that. So it's a little bit unknown for many. But nonetheless, the technology is also fantastic. So it's definitely something you want to be watching out for. So at 13.4 cents here, Zilliqa and the ZIL token, a market cap of 1.4 billion. Then obviously 10.9 in circulating supply. The maximum supply, so there is a limit to that, which is 21 billion. So also a lot lower than other projects such as Cardano or Stellar Lumens or even XRP with high maximum token supply. Zilliqa also is quite reserved, having a 21 billion maximum. With that being said, up until October, Chris, if you actually stake your ZIL tokens, you'll also be gifted the GZIL token, which is the governance token that goes alongside it. And the GZIL token, Chris, only has 750,000 maximum supply, and they're basically being issued to the people who are staking their ZIL tokens up until the end of October. So you definitely want to be taking part of that if you are invested in this project. But obviously, we're here to talk, Chris, all about the ZIL price. And whether or not we think this thing can 10x. So let's jump on over to the ZIL chart. On the ZIL chart here, we can see this is Zilliqa to the USD on the daily. I'm probably not going to go down into too many levels here. Just going to give you a bit of an overview of what we see in this data. We can see if I zoom out, the progress that this chart has made in such a short period of time. If we just shoot on across here, we can see what it was back in August of 2020 and where it is today. Let alone if we were to look right way down here in September of 2019, when it was less than 1 cent. In fact, it was 0.0038 of a cent. It's incredibly low. And if you were purchasing the ZIL token back then, you would have been doing very, very well for yourselves today. Obviously, we can see the higher levels up here, and we are not yet even near those former high levels for the ZIL token. We're getting closer. And we'll see up against some resistance area over here, but we have still got some progress to make. With that being said, we can also see on this chart the fantastic motion to the upside in the most recent days and weeks and months. We can also see the sheer number of volume that's coming into the ZIL token recently. We can see that there's fantastic MACD at the moment, and we can also see that the RSI is corrected just below the 70 level here, so it's no longer overbought. So we could start seeing some good price action in the coming days as well for the ZIL token. But obviously, we're here to talk about 10x during 2021. It's not going to be instant, is it, Chris?
No, it's not going to be instant. Definitely not. I think it's just like anything, isn't it? This isn't a get rich quick scheme at any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, not going to be an overnight thing for sure.
No, absolutely. So we do have to obviously take a little bit of time here. We think it's going to happen in 2021. We kind of anticipate maybe around the June time. So we'll have to see if by June, if the data has stacked up in our favor. But we definitely do think it's going to be in that kind of time frame. If not, we should have it a little bit later, maybe towards August. But if we have a look at this Fibonacci extensions, they already go up to 32 cents. And ultimately a 10x from the current position, Chris, basically brings it in at about $1.35. And I think that's a very reasonable price for a ZIL token during a bull cycle that we're currently in. And with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adjust this Fibonacci retracement that's a little bit old now. And I'm going to actually go ahead and set this over to this area here and set this to the higher end here. So we can see that we actually retrace down to the 50% and the 618 area. I'm just going to have to adjust that a little bit there to make sure I get that one perfect. Right. And this is actually showing us up to 43 cents now. So even in that short space of a rally here, which is really only going from, I think, 7 cents to 13.5, we can see significant growth anyway, specifically in the extension levels of this RSI. So I think, yeah, 10x on the ZIL token, guys, is actually something that's relatively easy to do. It doesn't take a huge amount of money to come into the project to do it. And ultimately, the actual circulating supply is less of a concern, considering quite a lot of it is actually staked and delegated in order to earn that GZIL. And what I will do, guys, is actually show you the value of GZIL as it is today, because that's that particular coin that you get whilst staking your regular ZIL will also have an impact on your investment as well. Here it's currently trading at, Chris, $117.90. Okay, and that is being gifted to you just for simply holding the ZIL token and delegating it into a Zilliqa staking pool. There is a maximum supply of this particular token of 722,700. There will never be any more. So ultimately, this thing is only going to appreciate, and significantly so as well. So it's definitely recommended, if you are invested in this project, to make sure you're delegating. If you're not, then you're missing out a fantastic opportunity to get yourselves some GZIL before the price really does appreciate, like out of control almost, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, Nick, it's definitely got the possibility of doing that, the GZIL token, for sure.
It really does. It's a very low supply. So if we just go back to the ZIL here, we can see, we're basically asking this thing to go from $1.4 billion to $14.7 billion, which I think is actually not a big ask, considering some of the other projects out there have already kind of surpassed those levels. Those projects are not even necessarily providing too much use case, whereas Zilliqa has a use case. It's built on some fantastic technology that is definitely worth checking out. So a 10x on ZIL is actually potentially even conservative. It may even go to up to maybe even 20x, Chris. So, even just getting to where maybe even Cardano's market cap is today. So there's some fantastic opportunities here with Zilliqa. And if you've got in early, like me and Chris, then, we're potentially looking at somewhere like 50 or maybe even 100x. And if you're really early from back 2019, then you could be looking at some significant value on your investment. Nonetheless, I still think a 10x on Zilliqa is really something that is incredibly possible. I think it's more than likely going to happen, and I'll be surprised if it doesn't even surpass that. Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like my thoughts align to yours, Nick. Like I really like the project. I like the fact that you've got the GZIL token as like a major sort of incentive for people to delegate or stake their ZIL tokens on top of the incentive of really good returns on your ZIL token. So like for me, like what they've done is fantastic. Obviously, initially when we were talking about Zilliqa, and I think it was about 30+% APY return on your staking at that particular point in time, right?
Yeah.
It may have even been higher. I mean, we thought that's not sustainable, and obviously it's come down over time, and that's because it's not sustainable, right? But by delegating it into the pools, you're taking it off the market. So it's great. Obviously, you're making it more decentralized and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, fantastic project. I definitely can see this one 10x in, if not more. Again, I kind of feel like we're being a little bit conservative with it myself, but we don't like to overhype some of these projects, do we, Nick?
Absolutely. So guys, if you have found this video useful, informative, maybe even entertaining, go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. The whole cheeky crypto community here really appreciates it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the videos, live streams, and premieres that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.